Okay people, we're back with a new video on the channel. Bit of a different start than usual, but in today's video we're gonna talk about what it's like to be on a pro team and also what things you need to do to be on a pro team. Things like this. So I've been privateer basically since forever. I think it's good to start with telling you where I came from and how I got to the point where I'm now on the pro team. I started racing IXS Cup, the Rookies Cup to be specific. I was 16 years old at the time, first year of juniors, let's say. And then in a 2-year time span, I worked my way up from racing Rookies Cups to going to World Cups. At my first World Cup that I did, I finished 4th, which at that time was, to be fair, pretty insane. Yeah, so my junior years were quite successful, you could say. But ever since I got on the elites, I struggled quite a bit. I became IXS European Cup champion in 2021. But at that point, not really having that much fun in racing downhill anymore. Especially coming from the Netherlands. It's quite difficult to train. A lot of my friends always raced enduro. And then I gave enduro a go and actually kind of realized that I never was able to train for what I was racing. At least like somewhere near home, and fell in love with racing my bike and enduro and learning new things and getting better on different aspects of racing. And all of that I did with the funding of sponsors, with the funding at the beginning of my parents, and I always had my dad coming with me to the races, so I had him as a mechanic, which I think especially with downhill is quite a significant difference. That's a bit of the story how I got here. It took me about 8 to 10 years to get here, and a lot of work and a lot of money, especially coming from the Netherlands. The travel to get to the races quite a lot. Of course it's different than when you maybe come from overseas, but then the positive things you have from that is that you can actually ride your bike properly on some pretty good hills, where here there's no hills at all. I raced enduro for 2 years now. I did some downhill on the side, but mainly it was enduro. It's crazy to think back on it, but it was actually my plan, try and get on a team through racing enduro. I didn't expect it at all to happen, to be fair, but we're here and we're on a pro team and it's sick, like really cool. Never thought it would be that big of a difference being in a team versus being a privateer. I'm just getting the bike ready, pressure's dialed, so we can go out for a spin in a little bit. Gosh. So for 2025, I'm in the Simplon Trailblazers team. So it's an enduro team, no downhill. For me this year, there might be something interesting that I'll be doing other than racing the full EDR season. So stay tuned for that. So far with the team, I've been about 3 months on it. We did 2 team camps, one in Italy at the end of last year. We did one about 2 weeks ago with the tire testing and stuff, which was quite an eye-opener for me, especially the testing that we did in Italy in Finale. Back-to-back runs we could do, trying different parts, different products like carbon wheels, carbon handlebar and aluminium handlebar, O-chain, steering damper, all of this stuff back-to-back with a mechanic. I didn't even mention suspension yet, which I believe is probably the reason why I could make my speed go up in the off season already, let's say. Just having that extra bit of help with suspension and extra knowledge, and to be fair, just like I would say maybe insecurities about what to try and what not to try, I think was a big difference for me this year, having Miha with all of the knowledge for the Fox suspension that we got. Funny story, for example, when I was in the UK, I would try different settings, and then when I tried different settings, I would ask him what to do if I sometimes didn't like some things, or if I wanted to try something else, I would ask him if it would make sense to do it, or if you had a better idea. And actually a lot of the times I thought, for example, I needed to change the rebound, and it actually was just the compression which needed to be changed. That's how easy you could get lost in the clickers, let's say. That was a huge difference for me. One of the big other things that changed for me this year is having a coach on board. This has been a huge difference for me. Just strict training and really dialed plan. For example, funny fact is that gym-wise, I'm not really doing that much anymore. It's a lot of road biking, as you maybe have seen on Instagram. On this part, I've made huge differences. The numbers don't lie, let's say. And we're only like 3 months into this whole block, and we still have another 2-ish months to go. Yeah, it's gonna be sick seeing where I stack up this year with those improvements, both physically and on the material side. So of course the bike. Yeah, I'm stoked with how things are going. But in general, I would say like the support of the team has been top notch. I can't ask for anything better. Like, it's such a big difference compared to being a privateer. The amount of stuff I needed to organize myself, pay myself, and also stress about for myself has been taken away completely with the team. So yeah, when we're talking about financial stuff, I would also go, and then we start going to the next chapter of the video, which is the part where I put on my Instagram that you guys could ask me questions about what I should cover in this specific video. Surprisingly, a lot of the questions from the people on Instagram were about the financial stuff. I understand, but it also is a little bit sad in a way, because it means that at the end of the day you guys are only interested in what it financially changes, when, to be fair, if I wanted to make a lot of money, it would have made way more sense to go and do a normal job. But at the end of the day, life is short, and I don't want to live a boring life. Like, I learned so much stuff which I could have never learned with going to school. Of course, financially wise, it does change a lot now, where I don't have to worry about money or anything about that. So I can just ride my bike as much as I want and don't have to worry about my cost. I mean, ultimately is what you want, isn't it? Ready to go and do 1.5 hour steady ride. Before we get into the riding part, I'm gonna go over some other questions you guys put on Instagram. The responsibilities, and if I feel any pressure being in the team. I wouldn't say there's really any pressure on me, or I don't feel, at least. I'm in a pretty good mental space right now. Confidence helps always, and I feel pretty comfortable on the bike as of right now, and also with the people that I surround myself with. Very positive. Like, I'm living the dream as of right now, being in a team. I always wanted to be here, and I'm finally here right now. And I must say, it does feel pretty sick being on the pro team. Let's see if I can find any other questions from Instagram. Victor asks, he was wondering if the trips and races were paid for by the team. So yeah, the team pays for everything. Like, I don't have to, what I said, look after the cost myself, which is a big difference. Have your training been different since you've been in the pro team, and how? This is a question from Ukisuk. I don't know how to say it. Yes, that changed quite a lot, especially the off bike, let's say off race bike stuff, like turbo trainer inside and then on the road bike outside, has changed quite a lot. And also gym wise, I'm doing way less than I used to do. In general, I do have about the same time as I used to have, but I would say maybe a little bit more time as of right now, because I don't have to do little jobs on the side anymore, like organizing calls with sponsors and so on. What's the best way to get better and how to train properly? Question from Fretje. I would say if you start riding, just make sure you ride a lot on your enduro bike. You could look into like doing some endurance stuff as well and some sprints, but you could also maybe just do more race-based stuff on your bike. And to be fair, it's all not that specific, and a lot of things are just quite simple if you really just look at it in a simple way. How much do you train? But I usually train once or twice a day, and then every week I get a rest day, something like that. How does a pro team help you ride faster and perform faster on the race weekends? Question from Dan. Yeah, well, as I said before, physically we get coached, and then on the bike we got a lot of things to test and improve as well, and that helps of course with getting faster and perform better. Are there any responsibilities that you didn't have as a privateer? Question from Colin. I would say there are some responsibilities. Of course, there's people that expect me to do good this year. I would say the main pressure comes from myself. I think as long as you keep that as your main priority, it's good. Mika Brands asks, do you ride more aggressively now you've got 3 parts? Not really, I would say. The only thing I would say why I ride a bit more aggressive is I think because maybe the wheels that I got now are a bit more reliable, especially that carbon rear wheels, like indestructible, so I don't have to worry about breaking it at all. There's not really that much to break. I mean, you have drivetrains and stuff, but yeah, we are sponsored by GRP, so maybe that's the thing which I wouldn't really need to worry about anymore, because we got enough spare derailleurs to cover the whole season. Stein asks, how important is the marketing of you as an athlete for them, and what do you help them with? I would say if I wouldn't be doing all of the social media stuff, the chance I would have actually gotten onto the team would be much smaller. And I always known that, because of course the value I have is bigger when I have a bigger following. If I can offer more, I'm also worth more. Not that I'm doing it because of that, because as the real true followers of me know, I've been making YouTube videos since I wasn't even racing, but definitely helps. And also having that, I would say, creativity and stokedness on making content helps. So there's definitely a big part in that where I got the ride also because of marketing purposes. But I would say my results for last year also a big step up from the year prior. That of course helps with the total package. I see my memory card is running out of storage again almost, so we're gonna go riding now. We're gonna put the helmet on. We're gonna get riding at the local spot. The weather seems to be okay. Let's get cracking. Let's get on the bike and do a few runs, and then we call it a day. Let's have it. So this video is brought to you by the lovely people of Monserat. The hoodie is actually gonna come off because the weather is too nice. If you want to get your hands on one of the nicest products I've had in a long time for biking, this is definitely the one. Has a little adjusted bit over here, and it's super nice to put over the helmet like that. And if you want to make it even better, if it's really cool, you strap yourself up like that. It'll be sound for the winter ride. It actually is going to come off now because it's too warm, but check them guys out. The website will be linked below in the description. Cheers. Quote of the day goes like this: if you're not losing grip, you're not going fast enough. Let's see if we can make that happen. Bosh. Oh, woo. Front wheel drifter. Woo. Woo. Yeah, let's go. Please guys, if you ever ride here, slow down on this bit. Please don't come in full gas onto the cycling lane. So, proper training session done. Thanks for sticking along to the end of the video. If you guys have any video concepts you would like me to do in the future, let me know in the comments below, because I ran out of a little bit of video ideas these past week. So if you guys have any tips, let me know, and speak soon. And thanks for watching. Have a great weekend and shred on. Ciao ciao. Bosh.